Hi guys, ThoGrey here for a new video, and this video is about a top 5 most underused SMG weapons in Warzone. And to be frank, they are on the verge of being meta. At the moment it is just underplayed, underused, underutilized, and especially the top two. The top two is really at the verge of being meta, or is already being meta, but just not in favor of the other guns. So be sure to check out that top two, and also put a like on the video if you want to help a mate out, especially with the algorithm of YouTube being very annoying to deal with. And of course, subscribe to the channel. We are at the moment at 285 subscribers, which is insane since we just begun in January. And I'll try to do my best, and you can help me out. It is actually free, and life is hard on me, and yeah, it's cold outside. Not really, because it's actually a good weather, but whatever, just subscribe to the channel. It is free. And now let's go back to the video. So for number 5, we will begin with the P90, one of my favorite weapon of all times, since even a younger time, like on Counter-Strike Source, Counter-Strike 1.6, even CSGO. I always liked the P90, and it kind of returned in Modern Warfare 2, but now especially with Warzone, this gun is really a hidden gem. Of course, it has its drawbacks. It's one of the most slowest weapons of the game, quite SMG-ish category, and the damage is not impressive, but it is consistent on range and close range, and you can build it in 2 different ways. I'm going to show you those 2 builds right here. So we will begin with the most rangy build. So we will begin with a build that is actually good in a sniper support-ish category. So you want to use it actually for example to finish off targets that are down, to actually fight from a long distance, but you can also fight in a close range combat, since it's actually an SMG with a lot of bullet velocity but also a very high fire rate. So we will begin with the muzzle, which is the monolithic suppressor. We will go for the barrel for the forge stack retribution, which will give you a lot of bullet velocity, like a lot, around 112% bullet velocity only with this attachment. He will give you also some range, which is perfect for your headshots that you can do, and also recoil control, vertical recoil, very important. It will slow you down a bit, but as a sniper support, you can play with a Kar 98, a Swiss K or Pellington, which also gives you some mobility, and you can always try to move actually fast with those weapons. So forge stack retribution, we will also play with the stippled grip tape, we will also play with the fly strap, and last but not least, you can choose between an optic or the laser. To be honest, I kind of like the optic from the P90, so I'll take the TAC laser, which also gives you some sprint to fire speed, some ADS speed, like in general only good stuff. So with this build, this is the range build, you can actually fry some people from range. It does around 40 damage in the head, which is not negligible for a SMG, and at range, like max range, it is around 32. But don't forget that the fire rate is very high, so very forgiving. You don't really need an ammunition supplement, since you already have 50 mag, like a 50 round mag, which is perfect for that weapon and perfect for any SMG really. You can kill around 2 or 3 targets with 1 mag. Of course, you need to hit all your rounds consistently in chest and head, but of course you can always kill 1 or 2 targets really reliably with just only 1 mag. So now about the P90 Hipfire build, which is my preferred way to play. It makes you more mobile, more reactive on close quarter combat, and in general you can play it with the AR. So I prefer to play the range build with a sniper, so you have actually a sniper support build, and this build, so the P90 Hipfire build with an actual AR or LMG, so something from very far, so you can actually fry people up from close, and then when someone storms in, you take your P90, you spray them down. Like you have 50 round mag, which has crazy high hip fire, a crazy high fire rate, which is actually very forgiving but also very strong, because you are going to do a lot of headshots while doing that. It's precise as hell. So we will begin with the muzzle. So the monolithic suppressor is the best one regardless. We don't take forge stack retribution because it kills your hipfire by 60%. You don't want that. So you will go for FSS 10.6 inch Pro, which gives you a little bit more range, a little bit more bullet velocity, but the aim down sight is really not important, so that's why it's only positive for you. So we will take this. Of course, the laser, the 5 milliwatt laser, which is the best thing that you can take for the hipfire build, regardless of SMGs. This one is the best. So you get for the 5 milliwatt laser, increases around 60% hipfire, like it narrows down, which is perfect. You go for the fly strap, which increases your sprint to fire speed, your ADS speed, like everything that has like speed attached to it, it just goes up. That's perfect for you. You don't really need the aiming stability, like the recoil doesn't actually matter since you are not aim down sighting enemies. Now, last but not least, you will go for the stipple grip tape, which also will speed up your aim down sight speed, also your sprint to fire speed, your movement while aim down sighting, which is actually fine since you will need that movement to outplay a lot of people, especially with console players with their aim assist. You will need to break their aim assist some way, somehow, so you will need that movement speed. And that is the hipfire build. It is very strong. You have like no control, like the aim down sight speed is really bad, but hip firing, it is perfect. It is actually a laser beam hip firing, which is perfect for close range. Don't try it at range, it's useless, but this weapon is a hidden gem. Be sure to try it out, and really I recommend it. So now let's begin and see the hipfire build for this CX9. I'm going to do something that usually you will not do, is actually to not take a muzzle or a barrel. You don't want to actually use a spot for extra range damage, because that's not what you want from the CX9, and you don't really need the bullet velocity, since the bullet velocity is already good on the CX9. The fire rate is also very good. You don't want to take a barrel, because again, you take a spot from something else, from an accessory that you actually need. Those are all good attachments for another way to build the CX9, really. So what you want is the laser 5 milliwatt laser. Again, it is for the hipfire. You go for the stock, the CXFR, which is perfect for mobility. That's what you want. And in general, it's perfect for hip firing because you want to be on the go. You see also the mobility has increased on the graph, which also translates in real game life, I would say. So you will take the 6FR. You can take the tag grip, the CX9 tag grip, for extra mobility while firing. So sprint to fire, anything that you want. You will take the ammunition. So to be honest, you have two choices. Else you go for the 30 round mag, which won't penalize your movement speeds too much, but that's more for a solo queue build if you play in solos. But if you're playing quads, in trios or in duos, I would recommend to go for the 50 round drum, because that gives you the ability to actually wipe a whole team in close quarters. So I'll take that any day. Okay, your movement will tank, so it tanks a little bit, like a lot, and but it is worth it, because you are going to hip fire, or you're not going to run with it. It is a build that you can pair it with an AR, with a highly mobile sniper, or any LMG really. But you will not run a lot with this. You will always hip fire, try to get a good position and then shoot. You will not just run away like a Bullfrog maniac, for example. You will also take the underbarrel, and yeah, it is not the most popular underbarrel that you could take, or some people don't take an underbarrel, but for me the Merc foregrip is perfect for the hipfire accuracy. You want it to be an actual laser beam, and with this build, trust me, when you're shooting, it seems like you are aim down sighting. So precise, you can even kill people from 50 meters. The area of the hipfire is very low and very small, which makes you actually able to kill a lot of people that you wouldn't be killing otherwise. That's why when you're hipfiring with this weapon, often than not your bullets will hit the enemy. So those 50 round drums will help and come handy, since all those magazines that you're going to use in general, all those rounds that you're going to use in general, it will be used in good use. So play this build, let me know what you think about it. I'm going to make a second build for this, but more a range sniper support build. Be right back. So for the 6-9 range builds, I will surprise a lot of people here, but you'll go for the monolithic suppressor with this CX38E, which will give you more range, bullet velocity and recoil control than any barrel that you can find. You will then go for the ammunition, of course 50 round drums, because you want to kill people from afar. You can go for an optic instead of a laser if you really are not comfortable with the iron sight. To be honest, for me the iron sights are really great, I like it. Big reminder, this is not a speedy build, so you will not be running with it because you are quite immobile. But if you take the commando foregrip, it will reduce even more the recoil on the weapon, and then you can take either an optic, a laser, a rear grip or a stock. To be honest, the stock, the 6FR is the better stock, but it kills your recoil control, and I feel like you are building everything for recoil, so why would you kill the recoil that you are trying to build? So that's why I'll take the TAC laser, which gives you aiming stability, aim downside speed, but really the most important thing is the aim downside speed. You want to get it as low as possible, and with the monolithic suppressor, the CX38E, everything just goes up, and that's the problem. So we want it to actually get counter pushed with the TAC laser. With this build you can actually play as a sniper support, again with a light sniper like a Carnier 98, Pellington, I would even say the Swiss K, or even the SPR, but really those four are the good snipers with the 6-9. And so for number 3 we are going to show you the AUG. It has actually a lower play rate than the P90 for some reason, but the AUG is maybe the best long range SMG in the game. In my opinion, the TTK is actually insane from close, from afar, and even from medium range, and the attachments are really fantastic. I would say the AUG is maybe better suited for solo play, for solos instead of duos, trios and quads, because if you're going for the 50 round mag, or the 60 round mag, excuse me, the 60 round mag, your movement speed is actually just killed, minus 6%. Then you actually are at 4.35 meters per second with this build. So I prefer to play it with the NATO 30 round mags, gives you more bullet velocity, mag size is +5, and the fire rate is a little bit less, but that's not a problem since you'll see the bullet velocity actually shoot up in the skies. So it's actually very great. I really love this build. Does 1139 meters per second bullet velocity, which is great. So you will start with the muzzle. I show you on this website truegamedata because I didn't level it up at max level, so I don't have some attachments, but I want to show you which attachments I would play if I play the AUG. But I play the AUG with my current attachments and it feels great, but once it's leveled up I will play those for sure. So we will get the monolithic suppressor for the extra range, which is already good on the AUG, but you will improve that a little bit more. More bullet velocity, but a little bit less ADS. That's not a problem. We go for the long barrel, which gives you extra range, so it's about 55% now range extra that you get on this weapon, which is insane since the damage is already very good. Vertical recoil minus 34%, which is perfect. If you're shooting from afar, you will not miss the target since the recoil is already forgiving, but minus 34% is enormous. And then bullet velocity plus 55%. But be sure to not hip fire with this weapon. Be sure to not really try to sprint down a lane with this weapon. It's not a Bullfrog, it's not a Mach 10. It is the AUG. You should play the AUG like the tactical rifle AUG, but full auto. This weapon is deadly from afar, so just play it with an optic. I would take the VLK 3.0x optic. You can play it as an assault rifle. I would say it's an assault rifle and not really a SMG, but it has the advantage of an SMG since it's actually very fast in shooting those bullets into the enemy. The bullet velocity is very good. The RPM, like I said, is very good. The mobility is better than an assault rifle. And in general, I prefer to play with the AUG. So we take the VLK for the vertical recoil and also the horizontal bounce. And it is really a clean optic. You will see everything you want with that optic. I'll take the underbarrel with the operator foregrip, which adds you a little bit of ADS time. No problem, because you will get the vertical recoil minus 17%. You see, I took the operator foregrip because I don't want me to be actually penalized even more movement speed wise. Else I would take the Merc foregrip. I would take the commando foregrip actually, but minus 2% movement speed is really overkill. So I'll take the operator one. And last but not least, I take the NATO 30 round mags, which gives you a lot more bullet velocity, a little bit less fire rate, but 5 extra rounds in your magazine. And you see, really the worst drop off that you can have is around 65 meters. And yeah, okay, the first drop off at 20 meters, which is actually okay for an SMG. You will not, the range that you are going to fight the most is between the 10 meter mark and the 30 meter mark. Even further, I think you will switch with your LMG, your AR, or even your sniper. That's my opinion. So you will get a lot more range, a lot more vertical recoil, horizontal bounce, bullet velocity, it's very high. The reload time is not catastrophic, it's good, 2 seconds. Max size 30, but it is more a solo weapon, like I said. You can play with the 60 round mag if you are in quads. I would do that, but yeah, I feel like there are other weapons that are maybe more suited for the quads gameplay. So I take the 30 round mags to not get penalized even more. The movement speed is not that bad since you're playing it as a assault rifle. My excuses, this is not updated. Okay, and you get a lot of bullet velocity, which is maybe the best thing for an SMG in my opinion. So let's go to number 2. And at number 2 we have the Tech 9, which is maybe one of the most meta weapons out there. Like, I don't get it how it can only have 0.3% play rate. I feel like it is not as, I feel it's more forgiving than the OTS, like Otis, which is actually more played than any of those 5 SMGs that I'm actually listing, which is quite insane. But this Tech 9 fries from afar, fries from close distance, and be sure that if you land any headshots, they are going to die. So you can play with the burst one, like the muzzle. You can go for the burst fire repeater, or stay at single fire, which gives you insane damage if you're actually landing headshots. But I feel like the full auto repeater is maybe the best one, because it gives you a lot of fire rate, which is what you need. Like, it's insane fire rate really, And okay, it eliminates a little bit of that damage. You will see also on true game data, if you are on single use, your headshots does a lot of damage, and when you go for the full auto repeater, actually the headshots does a little bit less damage, like halved at least. But I'll take the muzzle full auto repeater with the barrel task force, which has no negatives. Like the vertical recoil and control and horizontal recoil control is just a placebo because it doesn't feel like that in game. You can also go for the ranger one if you feel like the recoil control is real, but really you should stick to the task force, which gives everything you need, like even the strafe speed. You go for the laser, so you have the choice to go for the tiger team if you want to have movement speed, or you prefer the hipfire accuracy. For me, I like to build my Tech 9 to be versatile, so I want to hipfire, I can hipfire. I want to actually fry people up with ADS, I will then ADS without a problem. So I'll take the SWAT 5 milliwatt laser sight, which is perfect. I don't take an optic. You can take an optic if you want. Then you go for the microflex LED, for example, or the snap point, which is also a clean one. But I'll take the bruiser grip instead because it gives you movement speed, hip fire accuracy, all the things that I actually want from a Tech 9. So this one is for sure one thing that I'm taking for sure on my Tech 9. The ammunition, you have loads of options. I don't have the Salvo 48 round fast mag, but I've seen on the true game data that it has a lot of downsides to it. I prefer the Stanak 48 round. It says that its reload quickness is lower, but from the testing from true game data, it is not lower. It's actually like it decreases, which is perfect for you. So I'll play with the Stanak 48 rounds. Personally, I don't really like the Tech 9 because I don't really like those small weapons like Otis or Tech 9. I prefer my SMGs being turned as a assault rifle. But if you like the mobility, if you like the actual fighting from the Otis, be sure to check the Tech 9. Really, the Otis is probably going to get nerfed while the Tech 9 is really under the radar. You just need to see the play rate. They are not going to nerf it, except maybe the ground loot, which for me the ground loot, every time I see a Tech 9 I'm very happy because it does a lot of damage for me. So this is for the number 2. And now let's check out number 1. But before we check out number 1, please push the like button and subscribe to the channel, helps me a ton. Again, like I said in the intro, it means a lot more than what you think, and it is actually free. So at number 1 we have finally the AK-74U, and believe me, the play rate is ridiculous for that weapon, like 0.35%. This weapon is a hidden gem, and for me it is one of the most meta weapon out there at the moment for the SMGs. Like there is Otis, Mach 10, Bullfrog, whatever, but the AK-74U is really one of the most versatile weapon that you have like in the game. It thrives from close range, it thrives from like a high distance. Like for me it's a AR but repackaged in an SMG. Like you can build it in hipfire if you want, you can build it for speed if you want, but for me, I played as a sniper support, and it is one of the best sniper support SMGs, like even weapon out there for me. It works super well. I've won like in total from since I play in August, I won 3 times with that weapon with my sniper, and often than not this weapon gets a lot of kills for me. So this is my build. I play with the Gru suppressor, which is really good. It has like no downside except ADS speed. You should not see the aim walking steadiness and aiming stability. It doesn't matter really. You can just check it in true game data website. I'll play with the task force barrel. I've literally buy that skin because I wanted that task force before I leveled it up, because Black Ops is actually long and I don't own the game. So I go for the task force, which has like no negative drawbacks. I play with the KGB target designator for the extra range you get, because I play it as an AR with the movement speed of an SMG. The hipfire accuracy is also higher, which is also good if you really want to hipfire, but in my opinion you should always aim downside people if you have the occasion. You console players with the aim assist, you are going to win a lot of games with that weapon, because the recoil is a little bit hard, a little bit funky to control, but once you control it, like because I play mouse and keyboard, really it is satisfying. It is fun to use because it is a little bit challenging to even control the recoil. It's not a Craig where you just point and click and something happens, while with the AK-74U, if you are not playing correctly, you are going to get killed. So I play with the KGB target designator. Of course, I don't have it yet, but the Tiger Team Spotlight is very good if you want to play a movement speed style of SMG. But the KGB target designator has really no downside except the flashlight. But really, I never lost a game because someone noticed a flashlight on myself, like never. So the underbarrel, I play with the bruiser grip because hipfire accuracy goes higher, but also the movement speed, which is also good. You can also play with the Spetsnaz grip if you want like a more steady gameplay. I also play with this one on my second loadout from AK-74U. It is more of a slow play style. You are going to actually hit your shots a lot easier. That's why I'm going to use the Spetsnaz grip on this build. But really, if you are going for a more movement style of play and you are kinda playing on the console with a joystick, it's a lot easier to actually land shots, so you can go for the bruiser grip. Ammunition, you go for the Spetsnaz 50 round drum. The level 43 and 51 are actually bad. It doesn't actually change anything, so you can stay with the Spetsnaz 50 round drum, which is enough to kill 4 targets. Like in quads, it is one of the best weapons out there. In trios too, in duos too, and in solos, really, you are going to count your bullets because you are not able to use all your bullets. You are going to kill people in 10 shots, really. The damage profiles are very good on the AK-74U. I recommend anyone to play that weapon. A lot of people stick with the Mac-10, stick with the Milano even, I don't get why. They stick on the Otis, which is good in close range battle, and if you are actually successful with it, that's good. But what I prefer is actually the more AK-47 feel of the AK-74U. Like, you can play it as an AK-47, and the AK-47 you can also play it as an AK-74U. That's what makes the game fun. So this is my top 5. Be sure to like the video. Again, thank you for watching the video, it helps me a ton. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content about Warzone, and of course, let me know what you think about the video. Let me know what you think about the top 5, and also be sure to just let me know what you think. It's actually important. I want to improve as a content creator, and really I want to improve my game. I'm actually leveling a lot of weapons to just showcase you which weapons are actually underused, underutilized, but also underplayed, which is quite of a shame because Krieg 6 is maybe the best AR at the moment, but for me there are a lot of ARs, a lot of SMGs, a lot of snipers that are usable, and especially hidden gems. So thank you for watching, be safe, and we will see each other very soon. Bye.